Welcome to another edition of Hey Bobby with Senior VP of the Cleveland Guardians, Bob DiBiasio, with us on 93.5, 1590 WAKR. Bobby, I know you're still very close with Lenny Barker, and this is the anniversary week of his perfect game. Matter of fact, earlier this week on the radio station, I played Joe Tate's famous call of Rick Manning catching the baseball in center field because it happened to be on Joe Tate's birthday, by the way, that the perfect game was. But I thought maybe you could reflect a little bit. Lenny Barker, not only the perfect game, but he's still very much involved in Cleveland baseball, still very much involved with the Guardians. And I thought we could talk about him, Lenny Barker.
Yeah, I'd love talking about Lenny Barker. Obviously, the perfect game. I started with the Indians in 1979, and so just a couple years later, we're seeing history being made. The first perfect game since Catfish Hunter tossed one in 1968. Lenny threw 103 pitches. There's some remarkable statistics about that game, Ray, that just blow your mind. And from a baseball statistics point of view, he threw 103 pitches, 84 strikes.
Wow.
He never went to a 3-ball count ever the entire game. He struck out 11. He didn't strike anybody out till the 4th inning. And so the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, he strikes out 2 every inning, and then 1 in the 9th for the second out. All swinging. Had his curveball working. I remember him with the media and him and Ron Hasse talking about how all that Hasse did was just throw down the curveball sign. His curveball was just cranking, and they had no prayer. I mean, again, it was Blue Jays came into existence in 77, so it was just, early in their existence, and not a great juggernaut by any means, but a major league team, of course. And Danny Ainge was the third baseman of the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a fun story on a little trivia on that game. But misty, little chilly May night on a Friday, one of the rare TV games, which made people keep an eye on it. The last thing I'll mention in the game is I'll never forget Danny Coughlin of the Plain Dealer was the master of ceremonies for a press club event at Stouffer's, and right down the street from Cleveland Stadium. And he announces to everybody that Lenny Barker, it's the 7th inning down at the stadium, and Lenny Barker's pitching a perfect game. Well, about 4 tables worth of sports people in the press club and others, all of a sudden I look back and our press box has 20 to 30 more people in it, just standing in the back because they all went running down West 3rd Street over the bridge into the Cleveland Stadium and standing in the back of the press box. So that was a remarkable night.
Bobby, in looking at that game, because you were there, was there you mentioned obviously striking out all these guys, but did the Blue Jays ever get close to a hit in that baseball game?
Most people will tell you in the first inning, Dwayne Kuiper made a remarkable play, and it was called an out, a diving stop at second base. It got up, threw the guy out, and there were some who thought it might have been safe. Who knows? But that was as close as they got. Toby Harrell went into the stands to get a foul ball for an out. I'll share with you, because your love of broadcasting live action. I get a call in the bottom of the 8th after we had made our third out from Don Drysdale, who is in Detroit doing the California Angels games on radio. And he calls me direct into the press box. He's like, "Hey, Bobby, Lenny still have that perfect game, right? The way I'm looking on the ticker." And I said, "Yes, sir."
Kicker.
He had a ticker, and he said, "How about you doing the top of the ninth with me?" And I was like, "Are we allowed to do that?" He was on KTLA or some major, and he goes, "Yeah, what the heck? I'm just, talking to our fans right now because we're in a rain delay in Detroit, and I'm on the phone with just doing a Q&A with fans like Sports Talk Radio while we're in our delay." So I did the top of the ninth on the phone. Rush Snyder is the plane sitting next to me, just keeps looking at me like, "What the heck are you doing?" So I did the top of the ninth. It's my only Major League Baseball game I ever called on radio, and it was for 3 outs of Lenny Barker's perfect game on KTLA.
That is good trivia, man. That is great trivia. Like it. Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians, Bob DiBiasio with us. Lenny, though, has stayed very much involved in Cleveland baseball, Bob. And Bobby, why don't you reflect a little bit on everything he's done in Cuyahoga County, teaching and being part of baseball?
Yeah, when he came back to town, he owned a construction company, and we had hired him to help us with corporate partner events, help us with our youth baseball activities. He wanted to always be a part of the game of baseball. He came back to town and had a family, young athletes that are now college age guys. He had a son just last year, won 2 state championships with Chardon, football and baseball. Got the big hit to win the state championship in baseball. Lenny is the head coach at Notre Dame College. Baseball has been for many years, was their pitching coach. And then when the head coach went off to be the hitting coach at Villanova, Lenny took over and has been there for more than a dozen years now as the head coach of Notre Dame Falcons over on South Euclid, and really enjoying what he does.
Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians, Bobby DiBiasio with us. Another edition of Hey Bobby. Bobby, it's also the time of the season. Summer baseball is here. Kids getting out of school. They're rolling up to the ballpark. And speaking of rolling out, the Guardians do a lot of work, and I don't know if people appreciate it. I do, from talking with you and Curtis through the years, about the work that goes in to the promotional season at the ballpark for the fans to get whatever they may like. But it's more than just rolling it out and saying, let's do it here. You guys do a lot of research and studies and come up with uniqueness. And maybe you could take just a couple of minutes and look at, promotion and the promotional season at the ballpark and the work that goes into that.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. We do take, that aspect of our business very seriously. It drives ticket sales and creates a buzz and a fun atmosphere at the ballpark. Coming up when the team returns home from the Chicago-New York Mets road trip, and part of the Memorial Day weekend, we begin the Sugardale Dollar Dog fireworks promo giveaway. I mean, those traditions and staples in our promo calendar. And then it's the other stuff, like this mystery Gold Glove one we had last weekend. I thought was really fun. And we're going to do a Hawaiian shirt this year. We're doing honor our 1948 club. We're doing a Larry Doby baseball cap. We want to take advantage of promoting our players, right? That's one of the focus of promotions, is how do you build the personality and enhance and grow that player's connection with the fans, like Stephen Kwan. So he'll have a bobblehead this year. Andres Jimenez will have a bobblehead. Jose Ramirez will have a reversible bucket hat. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then we do Rock and Blast, which is an award-winning, our normal fireworks are phenomenal. And Rock and Blast, as people know, is that normal fireworks show times 1,000. It's just remarkable. Again, it's award-winning. So it's this year we're inducting Dale Mitchell and Manny Ramirez into our Guardians Hall of Fame. So there'll be a bobblehead of Manny Ramirez coming up on that one. And so again, we look to create a buzz. We look to create fun. We look to build the brand of our individual players to enhance that most important connection between the player and the fan. And our people have a lot of fun doing it. And we take it seriously. That's why when people get surveys, fill them out, because this is where we get our information.
You've mentioned on the show a couple of times when we've talked about food at the ballpark that the hot dog is still the number one item. With the dollar dog nights, and we'll wrap it up this way, I imagine that's one of the most promotionally heavy nights as well. You do a lot of the dollar dog nights, but I imagine that has a significant uptick when you talk about attendance and the sales of dogs.
Yeah, Sugardale Dollar Dog Night is, again, one of our staples. It's the continuity. It's got an incredible impact. You couple that with the fireworks shows, and you've got yourself a winner. Our fans continually tell us those are the nights that bring out the casual fan that's in their family or friends. Baseball fans come, but they like to bring friends of theirs who aren't quite as deep into the game as they may be. But a fireworks show, you can bring your kids to Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. You can feed your family very easily and then have some fun with it. So you couple that with the $2 pregame in the district from 5 to 7. It makes it for a real fun visit to Progressive Field.
Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians, Bobby DiBiasio. He joins us with Hey Bobby, brought to you by J.W. Dodano Electric. Bobby, as always, my friend, thanks for the time, and we'll do it again next week.
Sounds good, Ray. Take care, my friend. Go Guardians.